Greetings! Welcome to the devlog for update 94 Alpha 1 of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. We're going to start off as always with a quick sound check. Make sure your speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, we have got a little bit of a toy drop. I know a whole bunch of you have been like, when are we get a new thing to play with? Well, today. So I'm gonna start off showing you the new toys and then show you a system that I'm working on at the moment, which is the reason this is an alpha and not a full update. So the theme for this week is Russian guns. Some fairly modern ones. Part of the reason I did this is both because I've gotten some absolutely some wonderful recent models, but also because I realized that there really wasn't any sort of representation of modern Russian handguns in the game. So decided to put in, it's a bit of a funny pair because it starts with what I think is possibly the prettiest modern Russian handgun and then has maybe the ugliest. So let's start with the prettiest of them. That's right, it's the PL-14. The Lebedev pistol. I know it's technically been, sort of it's now the PL-15 with a bunch of subtle changes to it, but this is technically a PL-14, and just look at you. It's a, low profile handgun, or sort of low bore axis, which is similar to like you get with like the Hudson H9. I don't know, that just has such futuristic lines to it. I just love it. It's got a safety. Let's go ahead and fire this. Take some shots. Wonderful. Just love it. Just love it. Let's switch up our sound. Outside open. Wonderful. Feel like you hear the mecha the most with the outside open reverb. So yeah, so there's your PL-14, and then to go with it, we have, I don't know, this, I think it might be the ugliest Russian handgun ever made, and I'm sorry if that hurts anyone's feelings. And it's the GSh-18. It's it's in certain ways quite an incredible, an achievement of simplicity. Apparently only has 17 parts in real life. It's got these weird looking things on the barrel, but every real life version of it, it looks like the brand new versions of these have like fallen down a several story flight of stairs made entirely of running belt sanders. I don't know what's going on with the manufacturing of these, but whew, they are not lookers. But we got a double stack, double feed magazine, so that's neat. 18 round capacity. Fun. Whap, 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 whap. There you have that. Pop out to, let's go back to our native reverb. Nice and controllable. Another fairly high capacity piece, and of course, anything having those, full length witness holes down the mag does look pretty sweet. So there you have it. So, moving on, we've got something larger than a pistol. We have the SR-3M. Ooh, yeah. In the same family as the ASS Val and the VSS Vintorez. 30 round mag, which yes, this is compatible with those. I know a number of you have wanted that for ages. Ooh. Wonderful. And we've got a matching suppressor, which I'll pop on in a moment. Let's enjoy this unsuppressed first. Wonderful. Whap. Let's pop this suppressor on. Chunk. Oh, I just love how that looks. It looks so sweet. Just great proportions. Oh. Helps go like that first, Anton. Wonderful. And while we've got this out, I can now talk about something else that I am working on this week, which is that I started work on a bunch of new attachments that are going to be showing up over the next couple weeks. And in the process realized that I hadn't really given much of any attention to the systems that run our reflex sights and our scopes in a very long time. And so I decided to give some of that a bit of reconsideration, and in the process improved elements of their rendering and made them a bit more flexible. And so to show you this, I'm going to grab our Cobra here and pop it on. You will notice that reticle drawing and coloration is a bit different now. All of the red dots and reticles look less white and look more pure red. And that's done for a host of reasons in terms of improving their visibility over both bright and dark surfaces. But in addition to that, in the same way that you can grab any red dot and you can change its zeroing by clicking left and right on the touchpad or joystick, now you can click up to cycle through luminance of the reticle. So as you can see, I can make that brighter, way too bright for this circumstance, back down to barely visible. But I have a testing cube here in pure white and pure black to show you why this is important. So that down at its lowest visibility, in pure sort of dark environment contexts, you can now have the reticle super subtle so it doesn't feel blinding. Or in super bright contexts, you can see that when the reticle is turned up really bright, it still shows up even when looking at pure white, which was not the case before. So yeah, obviously it's something where you'll have to tune your reticle visibility for the environment that you're fighting in, but will now no longer be the case that a bunch of optics are just like useless in certain scenes because it's too bright or it's too dark. Pretty much all of the attachable red dots and reflexes got this update, got grabbing them and clicking up. Some of them have more steps than others. I tried to loosely mimic how they work in real life. Some have a final like ultra bright setting, some have nighttime settings, some don't. And so I tried to represent some of that. Some have 8 steps, some have 10, some have more. So just to provide a little bit of, interest and variation there. I did not get to any of the ones that are fully integrated into a firearm yet. But that's why this is an alpha. I'm still testing this. I would love to know what you folks think of how these look and work in various scenes. I also changed the way MIP generation works on them, so they should be clearer for folks with lower resolution HMDs as well. So hopefully this is an improvement across the board. Just remember that all of this tuning assumes that you have color correction and bloom enabled. Like anything else rendering wise in the game, if you don't, you will not get the same glowy behavior, and there's nothing I can do because you've disabled a core rendering feature. So just so you know. So yeah, so there we have it. That is our stuff involving our red dots. Remember, this with the Cobra, you can click the trigger here to cycle to different reticles. It's one of 2 sites that can do that. Wonderful. Anywho, let's jump out of VR and talk about what is coming up next. Yo! So, I hope you are excited to play with those new toys. Other stuff for this week, as I said, I changed pretty much all of the attachable reflex and red dot sights in some way, rebuilt their reticles, added all of that sort of luminance adjustment. I also made it so that the hit dots for all of the laser attachments actually have HDR luminance values as well, so they should actually glow a little bit correctly. Added a muzzle attach point to the Model 70, and then in terms of fixes, it was mainly some metadata stuff, fixed thanks to a community member that provided a wonderful reference picture of the Explorer 22 next to a Stanag mag. I was like, oh, that thing should be larger. So it is now. It's kind of bizarrely large for a 22 pistol, but what are you gonna do? They made it that way. Fixed the cause tack mod, needs to actually spawn with a sight in take and hold. Fixed the bolt hold open inconsistency between the two versions of that, and then fixed some impact sounds related to attachments. So yeah, that's about it. As I said, this has been me sort of like getting back into the swing of things for the first time after a couple week break. It's always difficult sort of rebuilding that inertia, as well as I'm just trying to like take care of my arm, have good posture, take lots of breaks, do my weights, that sort of thing. So I'm pleased with what I was able to get done this week. So yeah, and I'm just gonna continue to just a couple sort of notes. One, I'm probably gonna start streaming again soon. I want to stream. It's gonna be mainly focused on my sort of work on the game planner system, so the stuff that's a ways off instead of the stuff that's like coming the next week or 2 weeks out or something like that. And probably some snack reviews along the way, because what else am I going to do stuck indoors? So yeah, and in terms of what I want to complete in this alpha cycle, should be short, probably just 1 or 2 alphas, just to make sure I didn't break anything. I also want to add scope zeroing. So what I'll probably do is actually either use the same up click that I'm using for the red dots, or I'll see what feels natural for them. But I basically want to be able to have you zero them in steps from like 1 to 500 meters, just to make it easier for those of you who love to bipod shoot at really long range. Beyond that, yeah, basically attachment tune-up. So you should expect in the next alpha and update or 2 a whole bunch of new attachments. I've tons of them that I have been batch implementing, and that's what spurred me. I was like, I should fix these systems first before I finish actually implementing all of that content, because then I'll have to redo it. So that's what's coming, and I hope you all enjoy the new stuff and have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Peace.